Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here, and welcome to the DCS World stream for the 25th of June 2022. I hope you all enjoyed that additional tutorial video for the F-16, all about the harm targeting system, a very advanced and fancy piece of equipment. Welcome to the stream everybody, welcome to the stream Tog, welcome to the stream Byron. Tog, it's not even noon yet, Byron. Okay, fair enough. One moment, I just realised that my fan is blowing directly over the microphone. Let me quickly fix that. There we go. I shall need to put up with slightly higher temperatures than I was hoping for. Welcome, Irish Pat, to the stream. Storm Kimbari, welcome, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Mark S as well. Oh. Well done. So yes, it's the most recent F-16 video. I did another one last week. I may or may not continue to do F-16 videos just now. There is a bunch of new content there. While I'm waiting for the F-18 weapons to become a bit more stabilised. So it could be additional videos for the GF-17 or the Harrier in the meantime. If you have anything in particular, chat, that you would like me to cover, then please go ahead and pop a suggestion in the chat. I'm always monitoring that, and I'm happy to take someone else's suggestion. Frantic Stone, welcome. Mako, hello. Tog, is it a tornado? It's sadly not. We're going to get to that a little bit later. Dave Flute, welcome, and Tech Gaming 45, welcome. Welcome everybody to the stream. Thank you very much for joining. And I'm going to put this in at the beginning for a change. I normally put it in at the end as well. Feel free to subscribe, like, and comment. It's a really big help to me and to the channel. Things are actually progressing super well channel wise. Like we're slowly creeping up towards that 5k, so thank you very much everybody for your support and for watching the stream and the tutorial videos. Byron, welcome. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into the DCS news. As always, we're going to take a little look at Eagle Dynamics Newsletter, although there's not a great deal in here this week. This week we updated the DCS Open Beta and we kicked off our DCS 2022 Summer Sale. This is going to be the big piece of news for this week. So people who have been hanging off and waiting to buy modules, now is your time. And actually, it's pretty much exactly what they say in the newsletter. This is your chance to save 30% on our most popular modules and up to 50% off everything else. The summer sale will run until the 11th of July. Decent amount of time, 1500 GMT, and we're also participating in the Steam Summer Sale till the 7th of July at 1700 GMT. Ooh! Thank you very much, Frantic Stone. That's very kind of you. Excellent. And join the VAF. Yes, please. Always join the VAF. We'll talk more about that later as well. We have selected the 10 winners of the H64D livery competition. These 10 will have their work included with the H64D module, and their names will be added to the credits. Congratulations to all, and many thanks for the huge number of entries. Check out the details below. And then we also have announcement of the FA-18C Hornet Raven 1 Dominant Fury campaign by Baltic Dragon. It's the prequel to the acclaimed Raven 1 campaign that was created with help from Kevin Miller and Vincent Jello Aiello. Both are former US Navy FA-18C pilots, whose names I've probably butchered, and I apologise for that. Boasting numerous deployments and over 3,000 Hornet flight hours each. Fabulous stuff. So, summer sale. We've got a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not going to read all of this out. I suggest that you check out the newsletter on the Digital Combat Simulator website. But we've got a bunch of modules that are 30% off. We've got the F-14 with 25% off. And then a whole load of campaigns, some of which are 30 and some of which are 50% off. So now is your time. Now is your time. It's an eagle, says Tog. Yes, well, there's definitely an eagle coming, we know that much. H64D competition winners. I'm not going to read these out, so again, feel free to jump into the newsletter and take a look at these. There are links to each and every livery, so this is pretty cool. But yeah, there are 10 winners. These are all going to be included. Just going to take a look at some of these. This is UAE. Very nice, very nice. I guess it's an Apache, so they're not going to be particularly crazy. These are all basically going to be green, right? South Carolina National Guard, though. These look kind of fancy. I like this. This kind of sandier, this lighter sandy coloured Apache. Very cool. Okay, so yeah. Shout out to the South Carolina National Guard. They've got cool skins. But yeah, the rest I am... Oh, here's one from a display team. But of course, they're still just green. Yeah. So feel free to check these out. A lot of cool stuff going on here. And then, yes, the announcement of Dominant Fury, the new campaign by Baltic Dragon for the F-18C. And this one comes complete with a little trailer video, which I can play for you just now without any audio because I don't want to get copyright struck. Okay, it doesn't seem to want to play for some reason. That's a bit of a letdown, isn't it? I'm like, oh, I'll play the video for you all, and then it won't play. Trying one more time. There we go. Now it plays. Okay, I don't know why I did that the first time. So Baltic Dragon makes really, really cool campaigns. My voice, as I recall, is even used in one of his early campaigns. So there you go. Cool stuff. Tog, DCS Chinook. Buckaroo UK, watch the most recent Fastjet Performance vid where he interviews two blokes from ED. Maybe joking, but he says the tornado is in the pipeline. You're quite right, Buckaroo. I'm actually covering that a little bit later in the DCS news. And sadly, yeah, 9line did clarify on that one and said that the tornado is not coming, not planned at this time. Byron, yeah, oh, actually, there we go. Byron actually makes that point for me. My take is that it is planned, but it's not yet in active development. Maybe more on that from Deep. I don't really know anything more than you guys, to be totally honest. I just know that they kind of accidentally announced it and then de-announced it. So I guess for now, it's certainly not being worked on right now. Frantic has a theory. They must be planning it, but they don't want any external parties to know. I don't know, Frantic. I feel like you're going straight into conspiracy theory territory there. I just think they misspoke. They thought it was about to begin development. It's not. That's basically the deal as far as I can see. Buffering video is buffering. Yeah, I give up. Go ahead and watch the trailer for Dominant Fury yourselves if you get the time. For some reason, Vimeo is not working for me right now. Something else that happened this week was that we got an update to the open beta. Nothing particularly amazing. A bunch of smaller, interesting additions. There's some cool stuff in here. The usual selection of additions and fixes for DCS World itself. But for the the FA-18C Hornet, we got the ADM 141A, which is really, really cool. So the TALD, in other words, is now in-game as of the most recent open beta. We covered the video for that one last week, so I won't go too much more into that just now. Frantic Stone puts on tinfoil hat. I've done my own research. Sure you have, pal. Sure you have. Stormkin Barry, thank you very much. My second donation for the stream today. I salute you. I salute you both. All these kind people sending me money. That's very, very kind. It can be an expensive hobby, this whole flight simming thing, so all money sent is very much appreciated. So yeah, we get the TALD for the FA-18C, which is really nice, and then a few fixes. Please note that the TALD used by the FA-18C Hornet is different from the one developed by Heatblur for their F-14. Heatblur will be using the TALD developed for the Hornet, but this task was not complete in time for this open beta, but should be available in the following. We're nearing completion for the F-16C flight model and FLICUS adjustments, and following this the Hornet will get the same flight model and FCS review. This is one of the primary remaining items in the Hornet's roadmap. The team also continues to work on the UFC backup page and GPS-guided weapon updates. Please see the Hornet roadmap here. Anyone, chat, if anyone knows what the UFC backup page does, I would love to hear about it, because that sounds really rather cool, but I've got no idea what it does. Cool. I'm just quickly checking chat again. Okay, right. Fair enough. People are just talking about the tornado stuff still and conspiracy theories around that. For the F-16C, this week we got the manual bombing mode. I can see a bunch of bombing competitions springing up soon where people try and make hits just using the Z sled with the F-16, and then a bunch of fixies. Next priority items include finalising the max toss anticipation queue, update to the external and cockpit models, Mark 84 Air high drag bomb, LAD bombing mode, the flickiest bit with control surface animations, airshow smoke pods, and more. See the roadmap here. And we're going to talk about the roadmap a little bit later, because there was some excitement around the roadmap this week that I'd like to cover. Gonna start a GoFundMe. Is it a GoFundMe where you give the money to DeepHack? DeepHack's not going to give you all a tornado. DeepHack is not capable of giving you a tornado. It may be, I think Deep is being paid by the man to confuse you people. No, I can categorically deny that. If anybody wants, like, the only subject matter expert I can be when it comes to module development is I could help someone develop a Cessna 172 module or a Diamond DA40 module, maybe at a stretch like a Scottish Aviation Bulldog. Like, I don't have real-world experience of any military aircraft. Apart from the Bulldog. The Bulldog is technically a military aircraft. I flew in a Chinook a couple of times. Chinook, no, what's it called again? De Havilland Chipmunk. I've flown in a Chipmunk, which also technically is a military aircraft, but not really. Anyway, yeah, we're getting manual bombing. They added the fix DED page. We're going to cover that in a moment. Our man Matt Wagner released a video. And then we have a bunch of fixies. H64D by Eagle Dynamics, we get the target state estimator, and we have a video on that next. Added the altitude hold mode, also we covered the video for that last week actually. Added the dashboard covers, sun visors, animation, and the main rotor VRS state is implemented, although it's a work in progress as of right now. Yes, a Bulldog Byron, that would be nice, very nice. Improvements in the definition of pre-planned threats. Also, HSI is now locked to the ghost ship when the MPD TST pages and freeze. It added intervisibility rings for the ghost ship on the MPD TST pages. A bunch of improvements. I'm not going to read out all of these because there's a whole load of stuff that they've tweaked, and then some fixies. The next big new items planned for the H64D will be the image auto tracker. Set of functions that allow the TADs to lock onto a target with sufficient contrast rather than having to manually track it with the thumb force controller. Following the inclusion of the IAT, we plan to add the DCS H64D to the free trial program. Now that is going to be very, very cool for those of you who are not sure if you want to spend the money as yet. The free trial program allows you to download the module and play it for a period of time at no cost. So that's going to be good news for those of you who'd like to try it. Cool. Okay, and then we've got some improvements for the Mi-24P, some small fixies for the A10C and for the Mosquito. GF17, again, a bunch of fixies, mostly around the radar. And then right at the bottom, this one caught my eye. Cockpit model and textures have been updated for the GF17. So I'll need to take a little look at that. Over the years, people have complained that the GF17's cockpit is a little bit sterile. Having seen images of the real thing, that's basically what it looks like. Like, it is just a kind of pale blue box that you sit in. There's not that much detail to be had in a GF17 cockpit, but hey, anyway, it's nice that they've updated it. I'll need to take a little look and see what it looks like as of now. Some fixies to the AV8B as well, but got missed from the changelog. Ooh, Byron, thank you for the hint. I wonder, does anyone have a link to that? I'm going to quickly take a little look in Razbam's Discord, but I'm not seeing anything right now. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in Razbam's Discord. So if anybody has the news on that, please poke me. I would love to see what's been updated. I am, of course, a big Harrier fan. That's my favourite module. Watching while doing Lua code, says Tech Gaming. Mark S. Nah, there's something about the GF17 textures. Well, you know, a lot of people have said that, so you may well be right. To me, it looks correct. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Buckaroo, please God, help George to IFF. Moving on to the F-14, they've now added a mini campaign, the final hour for South Atlantic, and also available are quick start missions. They've tweaked the AIM-54, They've added some gesture commands and then a whole load of bug fixing. Also, I found this very interesting, but I can't talk much about it because I have no real understanding about what most of this means. Complete overhaul and fix of the emergency wing sweep axis logic. So I think they're talking about the fact that, of course, the lever can be covered, and so when it's covered, can't manipulate it. But it also has like a pop-up position. So they talk about a whole load of things that they're changing, and they also talk about the spider detent. And I don't really know what this is, but basically they're modifying this lever to be way more realistic, and it has a whole load of very interesting logic behind it, which I do not understand. So if somebody does, then please please share in chat. Byron, it was in the Razbam Discord. Well, look, thank you, sir. And Tech Gaming, the AI Harrier can now use carriers with a ramp. Well, it's handy, given that we have a carrier with a ramp now. AGS 37 Vigan, we've got some small fixies. Anything else exciting? The main one, actually, is we've now added the South Atlantic assets. This is pretty damn cool. So, on the naval side, we have the Castle-class patrol vessel, Harbour Tug, HMS Invincible aircraft carrier, HMS Achilles frigate, HMS Andromeda frigate, HMS Ariadne frigate, Almirante Lynch frigate, Almirante Condell frigate, ARA Santa Fe submarine. We've got the Lark V, the TAC R2A, and you can also place a tower crane, small lighthouse, wind turbines, excavator. So a bunch of cool stuff. Oh, here we go. Byron, thank you very much. Fixed waypoint selection and editing when the INS is unaligned. Added AWLS channels for the following maps: Syria, Mariana Islands, and South Atlantic. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, and then they list some known asset pack issues. No RWR missile launch warning from Invincible. Harm missiles in HTS cannot detect the Leander class or Invincible. Missing textures on the Sea Dart missile and booster detach animation missing. AI Aviate-B can have problems landing on Invincible with weapons loaded. Seacat and Sea Dart launchers have no rotation limits. That sounds exciting. Leander class frigates are missing sounds. Okay. Okie dokie. So, lots and lots of exciting stuff. Yeah, this is really cool to see in the open beta. Next, one of the first videos that we had this week from our man Matt Wagner was all about attacking moving targets with the target state estimator. This is really cool. This is a system that actually, to my mind, is quite akin to the type of system you see on most modern tanks, whereby it takes the angular rotation of the turret, or in this case, actually the TADS, and uses that to calculate how much lead should be added to any launch for things like guns, rockets, and so on. So this is really cool to see. Very happy that they've implemented this. We don't as yet have the automatic tracking that the TADS has in real life, so we're still having to use the controller to set the motion and to track the target accurately. But in the future, the system will automatically track targets based on contrast. So that's going to be quite cool to see. Looking forward to that one. Don't know why it keeps stepping down my quality when I play videos for you guys. It's weird. Of the 3 UK Leanders in the assets, 2 weren't there for the conflict. Yeah, I read that actually, Byron. It's kind of a funny thing. So anyway, yes, our man Matt Wagner goes through a little demonstration here of how this system works, but it really is just the case that you need to find your target, you need to move your sight at the same speed that the target is moving at, and then lead will be automatically computed. He also mentions the fact that you want to take a rough range estimate before lasing the actual target, somewhere close to the target, and then leave the laser on, so you have continuous ranging. That's it. Dook, dook, dook. He's just fired the cannon, and those rounds should land pretty much bang on target, thanks to the TSE. And as you can see, dunk, 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 target destroyed. And the Chilean ships weren't involved, of course, but if this is the level of obscure shipping they're going for, bodes well for the full pack. Totally agree, Byron. I think it's really nice to see these additional naval units. You know, naval warfare in DCS has never really been very well covered, so if Razbam are going to provide this stuff for us, that's really nice. Here we go again. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Let's see if these rounds land on target, thanks to the TSE. And they do. Dunk, dunk, dunk. One burning vehicle. Excellent. So there's really not much more to go over here than that. Watch the video from Matt Wagner. He does a very good job of demonstrating this system and how it works. Next, we had one of the first of 2 videos that Matt Wagner released about INS updates for the F-16 Viper. This one is fix taking. Fix taking is a mechanism by which you can compensate for INS drift and actually reposition your entire flight plan. So you can choose one of your waypoints, you can update that waypoint's position, that generates an offset, and that offset is then applied to all your, actually steer points they're called in the F-16. It applies them to all your steer points at once and shifts your whole flight plan. Now in the F-16 is subject to INS drift because it does not have a fully integrated INS and GPS system. It doesn't have like an EGI or IGI like the A10C does, although it does have automatic updates as well. So I don't know how much it drifts in the real world, but it does in fact drift. So if you're doing a longer mission in the F-16, these procedures that Matt Wagner is going to demonstrate here might be necessary. And he goes through the possibility to do a fix adjustment using the overfly mechanism, the fire control radar, the HUD, and the targeting pod. These are the standard mechanisms for doing this. Probably the simplest way is actually just to use the overfly. So you choose a waypoint, you fly over the landmark that you know that waypoint should be at, and you hit the button, and you will get a full update. So yeah, and you also get the delta displayed in the DED. So you can actually track how much of an offset you're going to have to apply. I'm actually going to fast forward. Here he is. He's going to fly over this bridge and then apply the offset. You can see the delta changing here. Let's wait until he does it. Okay, click. He probably pressed the button just there. He ended up with a delta of 1.4. If he's happy with that, let's see, what does he actually do again? I think he presses enter. Note the flight plan here. He pressed enter. The whole flight plan shifted north very slightly. So that was him compensating for that drift. So that's really nice to see that kind of thing added. Most of the aircraft in DCS do simulate INS drift, so it's nice to see that the Eagle are maintaining this level of quality for the F-16 as well. So yeah, that was fix taking using the fix DED page, and then the other one we got was navigation altitude calibration. Yeah. TOG, just like the U-boats of old, have to retriangulate your position every so often. Yep, exactly. Your navigational source will drift from time to time. So this one is for calibrating altitude, although this particular system is also capable of recalibrating aircraft position as well. So the fix taking sort of adjusts your steer point locations, whereas this actually updates your aircraft's own ship position and altitude. Why you would use one over the other, I'm not 100% sure. Byron, I like this nav stuff. Need to include some missions with blocked or degraded GPS, as would be likely in some conflicts. Yeah, we're seeing in some modern conflicts, for example, the Ukraine war, where Russia, for example, is deploying systems that are capable of blocking GPS signals. How effective they are, I don't know, and how effective it is against an aircraft, I don't know either, because of course, if you have ground-based GPS using systems, then yes, that probably is has quite a serious impact. But if you're an aircraft, you're probably only going to be subject to the jamming for a period of time as you fly through the zone that's being jammed. So, yeah, may or may not be an issue. And of course, all aircraft that have GPS also have INS. So even if you lose your GPS signal for part of the mission, that's probably not that big a deal. Like, you're going to start to drift in position, but not that much. Yeah, hard to say. Of course, if you set the mission time in DCS to a date before, I forget what it is, 1984 or something like that, I forget the exact date, then of course GPS wasn't available. So if you go for Cold War era, then you don't have GPS anyway. TOG, one of my favourite training courses during my ARMA days, using a map and compass to triangulate position and get yourself to another location. Yeah, back in the Havoc Company days, we used to do things like that, I remember. It was good fun. So in any case, he demonstrates the use of this system, updating position and altitude based on the radar altimeter, but it's also possible to do it from GPS and a bunch of other sources as well. As before, go ahead and watch Matt's video on this topic. He covers it very, very nicely. Next, still talking about the F-16. This is like the F-16 episode. We're talking about the DCS F-16C Viper roadmap. Now, of course, our man Matt Wagner posted all about this back in 2021. They had a complete roadmap all set out for exactly what they intended to deliver. And the reason that this has come up again is because there were some alterations to the roadmap. This created a bit of excitement in the community. And then Matt Wagner more recently posted to say that they were returning some items to the roadmap for delivery before early access that they had removed more recently. Now keep in mind, this is just the roadmap for early access. This doesn't suggest that development of the module will stop. It just means that that's what will be delivered before they take it out of early access and, of course, bump the price up. So personally, I don't really think this is a big deal, particularly. Like what we get before or what we get after early access is over, I don't think really matters. But, you know, it's nice that they're responding to the community and that they've put some items back in. So let's take a little look at his most recent message here. Posted on Wednesday. So what day was Wednesday again? 22nd. So the 22nd of this month he posted, following our project's meeting today and review of the DCS F16C roadmap, we've decided to return several items to the planned features of early access release. These include Sniper XR targeting pod. They'd said that they weren't going to give us that until later. But now they will give us it before early access is over. RWR handoff PRF tones. Now I think this is the mode where you can hit handoff, just listen to a single emitter, and it will actually play the PRF tones as audio tones, and you can actually figure out exactly what the radar is doing. Early radar warning receivers didn't generate the synthetic tones that our modern RWRs do. They actually literally just played the radar waves like shifted down into the audible frequency band. So they literally just played the sound of the radar scanning you, and pilots were expected to recognize whether or not that was just scanning or continuous wave tracking or what exactly was going on. They were also expected to recognize the emitter type based on the sound it made, which is kind of impressive. So my understanding is that in the F-16 normally you're hearing synthetic tones, but if you hit the handoff button, each time you press the handoff button, the priority diamond will appear on one particular emitter, and it will just play the direct audio from that emitter. Subsequent presses of handoff will flip to the next emitter and the next emitter and the next emitter, and while an emitter has the diamond around it, you're hearing the audio from that emitter. This sounds really, really cool. I'm very excited to hear about this. The only other aircraft that we'd had so far that had the ability to kind of record the exact frequencies that radars were emitting was the Viggen, when it had its ELINT pod installed. And then I don't think you could even hear it. It was just recorded and you could look at the file afterwards. So very, very cool in my opinion. And then the other one is the radar velocity search mode. Now, they said quite early on that they weren't going to deliver this. Actually, I think they even suggested they weren't going to deliver VS mode at all, let alone in early access. And it now sounds like we're getting velocity search mode before the end of early access, which is cool. I'm also somewhat surprised because I was under the impression that velocity search mode was a radar mode that was deleted in the real aircraft after a certain software version. But I could be wrong. But I thought that the modern Vipers didn't have this. But then I don't know exactly what year our Viper is supposed to be, so maybe they are simulating a block that still had velocity search. It's also possible that I'm talking complete nonsense, but hey. But yeah, my understanding was that VS was not going to come. It is now coming. And whilst the data transfer cartridge, this is something I'm super excited about, mainly for the Harrier. Whilst data transfer cartridge and mission planner is on the roadmap, this is a much larger item and is not just an F-16C item. As such, it will need to come after the module exits early access. As mentioned before, once the Viper exits early access, we'll release a roadmap of planned additional features. So yeah, as I said, they're not stopping development at the end of early access. This is just the stuff they're committing to. Byron, isn't that how the Viggen does it? Maybe you're right. I thought... Is the audio that the Viggen is playing just the raw audio of the emitter? It probably is, given the vintage of the Viggen. And yeah, like I said, earlier aircraft, like I believe that this is one of those potential bugs with the F5. I think the F5 RWR is supposed to play raw audio, but it's actually playing synthetic tones. I'm pretty sure the F5 is supposed to play just the raw audio, IRL. But anyway, who knows? On a different matter, we've been having lively internal discussions regarding the F16C radar regarding detection versus bug range and the effect of radar lookdown angle. This is something that the F16 boys in the VAF have been very, discussing in a very lively fashion as well, because a lot of people are disappointed with its current performance and feel like it's not entirely realistic. This has included a review of numerous documents and discussions with SMEs. We're making good progress to resolve these issues for a July update. So, very exciting, everybody. So, and then he goes on to say, "Dear all, a few important updates. Based on clear language in a rather public F16 manual, APG-68 search returns, small white squares with vector lines, represent only the initial radar detections that the radar has, not Doppler correlated well enough to declare them to be valid radar tracks. Earlier, the time to resolve a search target to a tank target was excessive." This is actually, if you look at my video where I demonstrate TWS, I kind of felt that. Like, it was often taking like up to 4 or 5 scans before I actually got a proper track. And they're now suggesting that maybe this is incorrect. So that's nice that they're going to look into that. The effect of radar lookdown is being tuned to be less aggressive. It's now possible to have a valid track on a lookdown target, MiG-29 in this example, more than 30 nautical miles. Naturally, this greatly depends on RCS, VC, and other factors. We have implemented multiplayer data link sharing of radar contacts over the data link of valid track targets. Earlier, this was limited to only STT targets. This essentially allows players to run radar silent and maintain situational awareness based on flight member data link sharing. The next step is to implement this for the AI. That's really cool. And this is something that I'd always suspected the F-16 was capable of. So yeah, you go nose cold, your wingman keeps his radar on, and so of course you're creating fewer RWR warnings with your enemy, and you can still see everything his radar sees over your data link. That's very nice. So that's everything that he commented on with regards to that. And then these are the Viper updates, by the way. He talks about the altitude calibration, which we just covered. He goes into a lot of detail about how that's achieved. And regarding the ACAL Auto GPS option, that's the first one he demonstrates in the video. We will be further expanding this DED page to include nav, filter accuracy, GPS accuracy, DTS, and more. As mentioned in the video, although not a full IGI system, this option allows the INS GPS Calman filter blending on INS position and altitude data to greatly reduce INS drift. So yeah, the GPS is not fully integrated in the F-16, it's kind of a bolt-on. And so you're not without drift, this system just makes it less drifty, if that makes sense. Are we Tornado yet? That's actually what I'm about to cover now, Frantic. Good timing. So, FJP Fastjet Performance on YouTube talks with ED staff. Typhoon, Phantom, Tornado, question mark, plus rumor control. So, yeah, a lot of people have been talking about this one. It's kind of exciting. FJP was talking to 2 members of the Eagle Dynamics staff, Simon Pearson and Ben Whitley. And let me see, who are these people again? Simon Pearson is the Business Development Director at Eagle Dynamics. Ben Whitley is the Associate Producer, so I guess he's the guy who works alongside Matt Wagner. And they revealed lots of interesting tidbits. It's slightly over a 1-hour interview, so I suggest that everybody has a listen to this themselves. But Stormbirds here provides us some kind of salient points. And yeah, let's cut to the chase on the aircraft module side of things. Phantom is still slated for the end of the year, according to this interview. That's Phantom F4. Yeah, aka Big Bossies. The Eurofighter is due sometime next year. That's cool because we were kind of speculating that Eurofighter is likely to appear sometime later in 2023. As far as I'm aware, this is the first confirmation we have that that is the plan. And then Simon mentions the Tornado Hold your thoughts on that for a moment, though. There are other items mentioned in there, too, such as a refurbishment for the F5. Very excited to hear about that. And the SU-25T, also very cool if they're going to update that module. Simon even muses about a potential low-fidelity SU-57. Be very surprised if we're guessing that. I think that's just him, musing, as Stormbirds say. There's also mention of the DTC and the dynamic campaign. On the campaign, Simon talks about all of the elements involved, including AI, integrated air defences, and drilling all the way down to how aircraft might operate, what logistics might be involved, and even how morale could affect troops. There was also talk about implementing mid-mission save points. That's kind of cool. That all sounds cool, but there are some corrections coming out from the community manager, so let's talk about that as well. Tech Gaming 45, an F5 with Mavs. Sadly, our version of the F5 never had Mavericks. The ED have commented numerous times on this in the past, that the version of the F5 we have now will never have Mavericks. Also, we don't have the TV screen that the later versions did have to accommodate Mavericks. And Eagle have said that they've not been able to find any documentation about that TV screen. And so they don't really have any information to properly implement it. So let's get some corrections in. Let's do the Tornado first. So yeah, a lot of people were super excited about the Tornado, but unfortunately it's not likely to be coming soon. Nineline himself said the Tornado comment was misspoken. There is nothing official, plans or otherwise, for the Tornado at this time. So there we go. They were really, really enthusiastic about having a Tornado, but it seems no, that's not really coming. Let me see here. Anything exciting? Okay, let's talk about the F5 upgrade. There was some implications the F5 might go the way of the A10C2 with a $10 upgrade for existing customers. He even mentioned some upgraded artwork. This is what Nineline says in response. On the F5 news, here's the official statement I received direct from Kate. We are not working on a new F5. And the information in the interview is incorrect. We haven't come to a final decision if we will create an upgrade for the F5 like we did for the A10C, but we will definitely improve the existing module by fixing known issues. So they are updating the F5, but they're not making an F5-2 or anything like that. And then later, he says, I need to confirm this. I'm not sure if it's new, as in a new variant, as I understood. It is new, as in upgrades and fixes for the current module, such as flight model, artwork, etc. So yeah, we're not getting a different version of the F5. We're just getting it updated. And then some more tidbits from Nineline. Multi-core, that's currently in alpha testing, all I can say there. The ATC is in progress, but as touched on in the interview, it's a huge undertaking to make it what it should be. DTC, I'm unsure, which sounds to me like they're not working on it. I know this is important not just for DCS World, but private contracts as well. I expect to hear more about this in time. Again, I'm just going to say it one more time. I am super excited about DTC. If we can get rid of all the nonsense programming that we do in the cockpit today, and actually do a whole bunch of pre-briefing, and even maybe store multiple mission DTCs that we can load in multiplayer missions, that would be fantastic. And all the aircraft that have a DTC in real life should really have one in the game. So, you know, that would be basically all the modern NATO aircraft should be using a data cartridge. Of course, we have a simulation of the DTC in the JF-17 in a small way, and that's really cool that we have that. I think there's even some kind of simulation for the Viggen, although it doesn't have a DTC in the same way. Dynamic campaign, again as touched on in the interview, it is complex and the initial versions are getting run through internally. So there you go. A lot going on. I very much recommend that everybody have a little look at this video from Fastjet Performance. It's just over an hour long and they go into a lot of stuff. But Nineline himself dropped hints about a C-130. Yeah, the C-130, that's been a rumour going around for a while. I would love to see that. Frantic Stone, well, if it was a secret and wanted to get further down the line to announce it, what else would the community manager say? They wouldn't say, damn it, you caught us, yeah, it's coming. You could be right, Frantic, I don't know. But certainly the official word right now is it's not happening. So we'll need to wait and see. And last little bit of news, I also got this one from Stormbirds. Octopus G shows early SU-17 renders. This looks rather cool. 3 images were released on the Octopus G Facebook page, cryptically saying, next, ... So it didn't take long for people to figure out this is an Su-17, NATO codename Fitter. Let's have a little look at these images here. These are not textured yet, of course, but looking rather cool. Yeah, I like Sukhoi aircraft. I like early Soviet stuff as well. This is going to be kind of cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this kind of thing. I really liked the MiG-21 that Leatherneck gave us back in the day. So yeah, that'd be rather cool. And yeah, now Stormbirds has some speculation. Remember when Leatherneck / Magnitude 3 put out a Merry Christmas image with an aircraft under a wrapping paper? The outlines seemed to suggest an Su-17 or 22, and speculation is rife in the community that this might be a partnership, with modelling and artwork provided by Octopus G and the programming by the Leatherneck team. That would be cool to see, because Leatherneck definitely know what they're doing when it comes to these older Soviet aircraft, so that would be rather cool if that's the case. Okie dokie. So anyway, and then they go on to talk a bit about the history of the Su-17. Very cool looking aircraft. So that's all the news that I've got for this week in the world of DCS. Tog would rather see a MiG-31 or a Yak-38. Well, yeah, if people can get the details for these kinds of aircraft, then yes, absolutely. But yeah, that's all the news that I've got for this week. So I'm going to do my usual shout out for the VAF. You know, if you haven't already, please check out the VAF Discord. It's a really fun online squadron that was started by myself and dotChuckles. It's a kind of opt-in milsim virtual squadron. We have freelancers who can join the squadron and fly any aircraft they want, fly whenever they want. There's no mandatory training. You can just join us in our training nights, mission nights, and do whatever takes your fancy. But we also have internal numbered squadrons. Currently we have those running for the Harrier, F-16, F-18, F-14, Apache and A-10. So if you fancy joining one of those squadrons, operating under a squadron leader and doing mandatory training, which includes getting your rating in your chosen aircraft, then please come and join the VAF. You'll see the Discord link in the show notes below. Everybody's welcome, whether you fly with us or not. Oh, actually also posted by Storm Kimbari just there. Everybody is welcome, even if you just want to hang out and chat with the amazing people who are hanging out at the VAF Discord. People like myself, but also even more amazing people than me. Please come along and hang out. It's a lot of fun. We're doing a training session every Tuesday at 8 PM UK time. And we also do a mission every Thursday, again, 8 PM UK time. Come and check it out. Come fly with us. Come join me in the Harrier squadron if you really like flying Harriers, because I'm the squadron leader for the Harriers. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So this has been the DCS news stream. I'm Deepak. Every Saturday I release a premiere of a new training or tutorial video. The one that I released today was an additional one for the F-16. I have been doing a series on the FA-18C, but I've put that on hold momentarily while some bugs in the weapons get worked out. And I'll probably do some more videos on the F-16 with the Harrier next week. But yeah, I always do one at 7:30 PM on a Saturday, UK time, and that's always followed by the DCS news stream, which just happens to be this thing, what you're watching right now. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and comment. It's a really big help to me and to the channel. And thanks for watching, everybody. Fly safe.